Tennessee Governor Bill Haslam is pushing back against critics who accuse him of putting Tennessee government up for sale.
Still, the governor refused to take the idea of outsourcing state college and university buildings off the table. News Channel 5 chief investigative reporter Phil Williams caught up with the governor today, and Phil, he got a little testy.
Yeah, just a little bit testy. Now, while university employees say the documents we've uncovered show privatization is on a fast track and their jobs are now in danger, the governor insisted he still hasn't made up his mind.
So we're doing our homework just like we should. You all think we've come to some conclusion. We have not.
The governor pushed back against criticism from campus groups who say he's determined to sell out the state to big business, despite data gathered by the administration's own outsourcing consultant.
The initial undertaking was, if we can show using best-in-class information that there is cost savings, then it's a done deal.
That data showed those higher ed employees actually spend less than industry averages to maintain their buildings.
He said he ran the numbers hoping it would prove the case, and it didn't. So does that...
That's not what he told you. What did he tell you?
He said he was hoping...
I read the whole transcript. What did he tell you?
I hoped that the numbers would reflect a business case.
For outsourcing.
For outsourcing.
And it didn't.
No, it didn't.
What's the rest of the story? What's the rest of the story?
In fact, as we reported, Ledyard then said he decided those numbers really were not a fair comparison because industry typically spends more to properly maintain its facilities.
We don't start with any predisposition toward privatizing things.
2 years ago, Haslam was convinced by officials with the Chicago-based corporation Jones Lang LaSalle to outsource the management of state office buildings, a move that he claims is saving millions. And as the state considers privatizing even more buildings,
the next request is for approval of a project in scope.
An email we obtained from Haslam's General Services Commissioner says he begins with the premise that the state ideally wants to have the private sector provide all of these services.
Does that not suggest a bias?
Well, first of all, that's his email, not mine, okay, number one. Number two, I think what he's saying is we're not necessarily in the real estate business. That's not what we're here to do.
The ultimate question, the governor said, is whether outsourcing makes sense for taxpayers. He says for him, the jury is still out.
Everybody thinks we've made a decision, we're going to make a decision in the next few weeks. We're not. We're months away from making a decision, okay, about whether even to proceed. Not whether to do it, to whether to proceed. We're doing our homework to make sure we have that real comparison.
Now, critics say the documents that we've obtained actually show that instead of spending less, Tennessee needs to be giving higher ed more money for all the work that needs to be done, replacing roofs, for example, to keep those buildings in prime condition. The governor says that's what he called a fair conversation.
All right. Thanks, Phil.